this video, I'm going to rank every single sniper rifle in Fortnite history in a tier list fashion. Let's get right into it. So before we get started, I will just note that noticeably the railgun from Chapter 2 Season 7 is not on this tier list. I didn't make this tier list. I just found it on tiermaker.com. I will link it in the description below. But if I were to place it, it probably would be in B or A. Combine that with the recon scanner, and that thing was pretty gross. But regardless, let's get into the actual tier list. And we start off with a banger. This is the Amban sniper rifle from Chapter 2 Season 5. This is the Mandalorian's weapon, and it was a mythic. This was one of the first weapons to have a thermal scope on it. I know you had the thermal scoped AR and all that stuff, but this was kind of a big deal. And this thing was gross. Right away, this is an A tier sniper. Really solid damage. It was a little slow, which is what keeps it from S, but this was a really solid sniper rifle, really solid bullet velocity. It sounded great. It was just cool to use, you know what I'm saying? And you could also use it as a melee weapon. A lot of people actually forget that, but it could be used as a melee weapon. So all in all, I actually think that this is an A sniper rifle. A little slow. Damage is not great. It's solid. Anything over 100 for a bolt is obviously going to be really solid. So I'm going to give it an A tier. Next, unfortunately, we have the auto sniper, and kind of debating whether I should put this in should not exist or D tier. It's definitely down there. The auto sniper is not a great weapon. It's really a DMR at this point. I mean, we've seen DMRs that are kind of similar to this. I would rather take the DMR than take this. I would probably, to be safe, put it in D. I think it can be okay in the right hands. It's quick, right? If you can kind of snap on somebody standing still, you can do some solid damage. But again, kind of a forgotten about weapon. I'm going to put it in D tier. I think it's not great, but I think it can be serviceable in the right hands maybe, but other than that, this is a D tier. And here we go. The sniper that everyone thinks about when you think about Fortnite snipers, the bolt action sniper rifle. This was one of the OG weapons, one of the first ever weapons in the game, and it's very solid. It does what it needs to do very well. It's an A tier sniper in my opinion. The damage is there. Bullet velocity, again, that's a big thing. If you don't know what that is, like how fast the bullet is going to get to the target, obviously they're not hit scan, they take time. There's bloom and stuff like that. And so, but the bolt actually really excels in that category, and it's very solid all around. It's just your kind of do-it-all gun. It's very solid. There's really nothing else to say. Like, it's not bad. It's not great. We've seen better snipers. We've seen worse snipers. But I think it's in that upper echelon of snipers. Anything that can one-shot a headshot is going to be better than a lot of the weapons. You know what I'm saying? So I would put this in A. I could see if you want to put it in B or even S for that matter. But I think A is more than fair, to be honest with you. And this is just the purple and gold variant, the Chapter 2 bolt, which is obviously a little bit better. I don't think the extra, 5-10 damage pushes it to S, so I'll actually just put this in A as well. And this is the Boom Heavy Sniper Rifle. Now, if you don't know, this is an exotic. I'm not sure if it exists on the Chapter 5 map right now. You might have to double check me on that. But I remember this used to cost a ton of gold bars back in the day to buy. And yeah, it does a grand total of, I believe, 10 damage, or is it 20? I think it's 10 when you stick somebody with a clinger. So basically it shoots a clinger, and the actual impact of the explosive will do 10 damage, and then when it explodes, it'll do an extra, I believe, 60 damage. So you're looking at around 60 to 70 to 80 damage total. So really, really not great. It's great for spam and great for putting pressure on somebody, but think about it. I mean, if you're going to stick somebody and hit somebody with a sniper, it takes skill to actually hit the shot with the sniper. If you're going to do that, you might as well just use a regular sniper. You know, if you hit a headshot, it only does 10 extra damage. Whereas if you were using a bolt or a dragon's breath sniper or a heavy sniper, you would have just killed them all together. So, I mean, I see the appeal to it. It's fun. It's spammy. If you have, heavy bullets, they're using explosives. I get it. But to me, it is not practical whatsoever. I don't like it. I don't think it's good. I'm going to put it in should not exist. This might be a little bit of a hot take, but yeah, I'm going to keep it in should not exist. Next is the Dragon's Breath Sniper, and this is kind of a tough one for me to rank because in one sense of the word, I think it's actually better than the bolt because you get the fire damage. If someone's in wood build, you just shoot their build, it burns all down, right? But the thing you have to understand is this is an exotic, right? So this isn't as accessible at all, and some people who are watching this may have actually never even used this weapon before. it was exclusive, right? It's an exotic. It's hard to come by. And so, whereas the bolt you can get out of chests, you can get out of, supply drops everywhere. This you could only get from a specific NPC for a specific amount of gold. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of makes it harder, but I think it's better than the bolt in what it actually does. It does more damage. Bullet velocity is a little bit slower, I believe, but regardless, it's kind of tough for me to rank. Like, I want to put it on the same tier as the bolt because I do think that it's actually better, but again, I kind of have to knock it a little bit for how hard it is to actually get it and to use it. So I'm actually going to put it in A as well. I think I'm just going to keep it in the same tier. I think they kind of counteract each other. I'm going to keep it in the same tier. All right, so if I remember this correctly, this is the explosive repeater rifle from Chapter 4, Season 3, Wilds, I believe. Did not play a ton of that season, but I do remember when this weapon came out. I do remember using it. I do remember this weapon being relatively strong. Now, again, I think of it as more of a DMR, more long-range rifle than I do a sniper. But I guess since it uses heavy bullets, they're kind of considering this a sniper rifle, so I understand. In terms of snipers, I don't think it's great. I would actually probably put it in B or C. It's good. It's cool to use. It's fun to use. And in the right hands, this thing can be deadly. I remember getting destroyed with this. But in terms of sniper rifles, if you're going against any of these other snipers, I think you're going to get outgunned. I would probably put this in B or C. I'm actually going to put it in C. C is where I'm putting it. All right, this is going to be the hot take of the video. In my opinion, the heavy sniper rifle, B tier. B tier, I'm going to say it, and here's why. Hear me out before you comment my throat in the comments. I mean, you can still do that, but here's where I'm getting at. So, on launch, the heavy sniper was the best sniper of all time. S tier, no question. Ton of damage, one shot, any build. Run a heavy sniper with a pump, you could just instantly get anybody's boxes. It was unbelievable. But we've seen a big nerf over time to the heavy sniper, and I think people are forgetting how much of a fall from grace we've seen from the heavy sniper. People still think that this thing is pre-nerf, god tier, 390 damage on a headshot. Like, it's not like that anymore. It's really slow. Let's just get it right out the way. It is really slow to reload this thing, go through the whole process just for one shot, and you're only doing, I believe, was it 124 now, 120 damage? So again, still a big shot, but it takes way too long now. It's way too slow. It doesn't one-shot any build anymore. I believe it only one-shots wood, maybe brick. You might have to double correct me on that. But again, I think it's a little overrated. I think the heavy sniper is a little bit overrated now. I don't think it's anything crazy special. I could see an argument why somebody would want to take a bolt over the heavy sniper. Heavy sniper's loud. It takes a long time. You're not really, are you trading that stuff off for 10 damage? I don't know. So this is my hot take of the video. I'm going to put the heavy sniper at B tier. And following it up with another hot take, in my opinion, the best sniper of all time, the Hunter bolt action sniper. It's S tier. It's an S tier sniper. You get everything that the bolt does, but better. You get 3 shots in a clip. Great. Let's just talk about the scope here. I mean, this thing is clean. It sounds great. It feels great to use. The bullet velocity feels good. It feels like you're hitting your target where you're aiming. I think the Hunter bolt is the best sniper of all time, and I actually think it's slept on. I think a lot of people forget how good this thing was. I mean, you'll see in the gameplay that I put, like, this thing is unbelievable. And 3 shots in a clip, like, the rechambering speed isn't even that slow. Like, I think the Hunter bolt action is a really, really underrated sniper. It's the best sniper of all time, in my opinion, actually. And yeah, it's an S tier sniper, no question about it. I'm actually going to follow it up with another S tier sniper, the hunting rifle. And I know some people don't see this as a sniper rifle. I personally do see it as a sniper. I could see how you would make the argument that it would be a kind of marksman rifle or whatever. But again, the hunting rifle is so iconic and so good. Like, it's so versatile. You can use it at close range. You can use it at far range. You can use it at any range, and the hunting rifle is going to be good. If you come across somebody who's good with the hunting rifle, I know right away I just think of Tfue back in the day. This guy was discussing with the hunting rifle. That's what it looks like to be good with a hunting rifle. You know what I'm saying? So versatile. You're getting pretty good damage out of this thing. Obviously less than something like a bolt or the ambient sniper, but at the exchange of being able to use it up close, you can shoot. You can honestly be in a box with somebody, hit fire this, hit him for 95, then hit him with a pump shot and finish him off. Like, you could do that. Like, I think the hunting rifle is a really good sniper rifle, and I would put it in S tier. All right, here is the semi-auto sniper, and kind of a sleeper here. When this thing came out, not great, really bad. Probably would put it in C or D, but they actually have buffed it to the point where it's gonna be a one-shot headshot now. You can fire this thing fast as hell, and I would actually probably put the semi-auto in like B tier. Like, I think you can make the argument that it is better than the bolt. I think you could make that argument. You can follow up multiple shots. You can hit solid 100 body shot, maybe a little bit less now. Haven't used a semi-auto in a little bit. I haven't been in the game for a couple seasons. But the one-shot headshot's huge because if you hit them in the head, regardless if you're using a bolt or a semi or whatever, you're gonna kill them. So I think the semi is actually a little bit underrated because of how bad it was in the beginning of the game. But with the buff and what they've done to this thing, I would actually, I think it's a B tier sniper. It's a pretty solid sniper. And this is, I believe, the repeater rifle. This isn't even a sniper. I mean, I guess it uses heavy bullets, so they're considering it. But should not exist. There's not a question about it. This thing's trash. I mean, if you've ever tried to watch gameplay, and of course I'll put gameplay up of this thing, it's hard to use. It is really hard to use, and you're not hitting for a lot. Let's be honest. You're not hitting for a lot. You're not one-shot headshotting. I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't think you are. I just remember this thing being not good at all. Used a couple times. Was extremely disappointed, and this should not exist. This is probably the worst gun on this list in my opinion. Here we go, the weapon that probably a lot of people have been waiting for and are watching this video for, the Reaper sniper rifle. A lot of people here who especially have played this season will tell you right away this is the best sniper of all time. Again, I do think that's a valid argument. I think it's either this or the Hunter Bolt. It's an S tier sniper. There's no question about it. I don't know if it's something to do with the scopes or, I mean, obviously I know they nerfed the bullet velocity in this season, so a little bit harder to hit your shots, but I'm sure anybody who's played this season, who has used this, you've seen the clips of this thing. It's unreal. It's unbelievable. It honestly feels like your aim assist is just stronger sometimes when you use this weapon. It just feels that way. I know if you pair this with an ACOG scope, like, it's unbelievable. You will just be headshotting everybody. I don't know what it is about this gun, but it is unbelievably easy to use, and especially you can custom mod it with attachments or whatever. This thing's unbelievable. There's no question about it. It's broken. It's OP. It's an S tier sniper rifle. And here are two actually pretty interesting snipers. So this is the Storm Scout sniper rifle, of course, but one is the exotic and one is the normal version. But to my knowledge, they function exactly the same. They have the same damage, the same stats, everything. But I actually want to put them in two separate tiers. Now, let me just get it started. I don't think the Storm Scout sniper is that good. I don't think the fact that knowing where the next zone is going to be makes it worth, taking it over something like a bolt or a heavy sniper or a hunter bolt. You know what I'm saying? I think it's valuable. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a cool aspect. But, for an exotic, like, I don't think so. But for the regular version, I would probably put the regular version in C. I think it's very mid. I think the semi-auto just does everything better. And the exotic, I would put one tier below. I'd put it in D, just because it's so much harder to get the exotic for literally no bonus. Like, you literally get nothing else. It does the exact same. So I'm going to put the exotic in D, and then I'm going to put the regular Storm Scout in C. All right, last sniper of the video. This is the suppressed bolt action from Season 7. I believe it was added in. And yeah, I mean, it basically just does everything the bolt does, but better, really. So I feel kind of obliged to put it in A. I personally don't like it. I just don't like the way it feels to use. I don't know why. But again, I can't argue that it just does what the bolt does, but better. A suppressor on it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't really knack on it that much. It's a really cool weapon to use. Suppressed sniper, something that we haven't seen since, to my knowledge, except for the Reaper. Obviously, you can have a suppressor on it. So yeah, I mean, I think it just does what the bolt does, just a little bit better. So I'll put it in the A tier as well. And this is my complete list of every single sniper rifle in Fortnite history onto a tier list. I know, probably going to ruffle some feathers with this video, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Make sure to drop a like if you did enjoy this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one.